Here is the poll that we're talking about, and it's a majority of voters think the government should have to provide evidence and a hearing before deporting undocumented immigrants. And the question is, which of the following comes closer to your view, even if neither is exactly right? Do you believe the federal government should only be allowed to deport undocumented immigrants if it has provided evidence and a hearing? Or do you believe the federal government should be allowed to deport undocumented immigrants without providing evidence and a hearing? And the all likely voters, 57% said yes, of course, the government should provide evidence and have a hearing. 65% of Republicans said, nope, it's perfectly fine. We say that there should be no hearing, nothing at all, and they should roll through with it. So that's what I was talking about, what you mentioned, Hugh Jass, because right wing media, I don't know if they actually have to drum up a campaign against this. I am convinced of this because once Donald Trump said that he was going to do it, and once his administration executed these deportations, and deportation is actually being a little too generous because deportation is an actual due process event. Like you have to actually work to go through the course to get it done. But these proceedings didn't happen. They just took them and chucked them out. The Republicans were on board with it anyway. So, did you hear everything I said, John? And can you see that? John, are you there?
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
I am. So, yeah, it is interesting to me to see how quickly this is flipped, TJ, because I wouldn't have guessed this one. Like, I know that the Trump crowd goes with what Trump says, but I'm honestly very surprised that just like an amendment, like a Bill of Rights, is just open for debate for so many Americans. It's honestly crazy to me. I don't think they understand what it means because I don't know how you understand what due process is and also think that not everyone should get it, because if anyone doesn't have due process, none of us have due process. And maybe this wasn't explained enough in schools. I've tried to explain it, but like JD Vance is sitting up there saying, yeah, no, guys, we can't. It would be unconscionable to give due process to all the people we want to deport. And it's like that what? Like, I can't believe that these people are genuinely making the argument, and they're doing it now, like completely not like the quiet part. They're saying it out loud. I don't care if some innocent people go to the torture prison in El Salvador for the rest of their lives. It's worth it. And oh my God, DJ, like if you had asked me 6 months ago what I thought this answer would be, I would think more Americans would have been like, nah. And maybe they would have 6 months ago before Donald Trump was pushing it. I don't know. But it is incredibly concerning because to me, it's such a foundational bedrock thing of American society being free. Like, I don't know how you can argue this is a free country if you can be sent to a torture camp for the rest of your life and without a trial. I just don't know how you can make that argument anymore.
I think you're correct in that if you would ask these people, say last year, this exact time last year, hey, can the U.S. government, and not just because Biden was president, that's not what I'm going here, is that do you think the U.S. government should be able to deport anyone without a trial? I think more or a lot fewer Republicans would have been cool with that. But it's kind of like the tariffs. Once Trump does it, they're all on board. It's the signature part of being in a cult that whatever he does is correct, even if they would have told you yesterday it was incorrect. It even runs counterproductive to their own morality. The tariffs are a great example of this. You see Trump implements the tariffs. Oh, this is great. This will bring manufacturing back. Trump rolls the tariffs away. Oh, this is the art of the deal. Trump puts the tariffs back. This is going to bring back manufacturing. Like there's no intellectual consistency with this at all. But with the deportations, it has the added bonus of, oh, this is going to solve the problem that we've been talking about for years now. And like JD Vance, I saw that tweet where he said that, what, do you think we're going to give due process to 20 million people? It's like, isn't that how you handle criminal proceedings? We have millions of people that are put in jail every single year. You could use the same argument. Oh, we're going to do 10 million court cases? It's that dumb. But yeah, Republicans are going to go for it because, they are xenophobes. They want these people out no matter how it's done.
Someone commented on one of my posts today, TJ, and it was so telling. and I didn't engage with them because they're clearly a racist asshole.
Yeah.
But I said, what was the post? It was something like, I long for the days where I didn't have to live in fear of being deported to a torture prison for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, this white guy thinks he's going to get deported. Laugh out loud. I'm like, you see the problem, right?
Yeah,
like
amazing,
you see the issue. Like, yes, I agree with you. I'm less likely to get deported in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
but they made a poem about this, guys. I swear to God, did every fucking class in middle school not read this goddamn poem? This was like bashed into me. If there was anything that the American education system bashed into me, it's that Holocaust bad. It's that we need these rights to not have the Holocaust. At first they came for whoever. Like it's so obvious, and it is very frustrating. And to be fair, TJ, I have seen a lot of conservatives speak out against this thing. Obviously, not like the people who are most important, but on the ground level, I saw one of the Republican senators held a town hall today, and his constituents in like a deep red state were furious about this. So I do think that a lot of the boots on the ground normie Republicans don't necessarily want no due process. Do they want mass deportation? I do think that is true. But do they want to be, sending people to this place in El Salvador? I think that's also one of the big problems here. Like, if they were just doing this in normal, ICE facilities, they could be rounding up just as many people. Instead, they're sending them to outside. Like, it makes it so much worse. It makes the visual of it so much worse. I don't really even understand, besides just cruelty is the point, which is probably the answer, like why they're just going straight to this. Because I feel like even Hitler moved slower than this, TJ. Like Hitler wasn't literally using concentration camps in month 2, I don't think. I wasn't there. But like, this is rapid speed fascism here. It's way faster than anyone thought it was going to be, even us, I think. And it's scary stuff, and I'm really upset that it isn't just unanimous. 5% of people are okay with this. The rest, fuck you. I'm honestly, it's demoralizing.
It is. And what you mentioned about how, you as a white guy, you're going to be a lot less likely to be targeted for this. And you're right. That's true for now. It's true for now because what people have to realize is fascism is ever evolving. Like fascism relies upon the in-group that's ever receding. It's always going to be someone else is always going to be the other. There's going to be the target. And a good example of this is what this isn't necessarily fascism, but it's adjacent to the point I'm about to make. If you watch an old movie from the 50s or 60s or something, you'll see a lot of conversations that go a little bit like this. Well, I want to date this girl, but I'm Irish and she's Polish and my family's just not going to accept her. You will see white people being racist against other white people. You go to any European country today and you will hear white people talking mad shit about how degenerate and awful this other group of white people is. There's no point in which the fascism stops. It will continue to create an outgroup. And once you are classified as being one of the undesirables, you are fair game. So if John loses everything tomorrow morning, John loses his job, he loses his support system, loses all income, loses any way to function in proper society. He gives me a phone call. I tell him to go fuck himself. And John is out on the street. Now he's part of the underclass. He's an undesirable. And do you think Republicans would give a fuck? I mean, really, based on what you've seen, is like, hey, these people are leeches. They are members of the surplus population. They are not contributing. They are not working. They're not helping the economy. They're doing nothing but dragging the rest of us down. Deport them too. It's the same principle. It really is. And so I don't see that being far-fetched. And so, yeah, John's not likely to be in the group now, but that's why this is so important, because this snowball will not stop rolling.
It will not. It will continue going until they're at your door.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And what Colby, mentioned they wanted to try to deport 2 U.S. citizens they arrested today. I hadn't heard that they tried to deport them, but yeah, they're already arresting U.S. citizens. There was a guy in Florida that ICE has detained, and a judge said they couldn't let them go, even though they had a birth certificate showing that they're U.S. citizens. It's going to happen. And yeah, that guy was a Hispanic guy, but as TJ said, it's going to keep happening to more and more people. And we saw Seb Gorka today said, anyone.
Saw that.
Oh, by the way, Seb Gorka, what a great villain name. Like, that sounds like a Star Wars villain. Like, if you just like polled me like 3 months ago and said, yo, what's Seb Gorka from? I'd be like, I don't know, a villain in Star Wars. Like, that's what I would have guessed, right? But he said that it's aiding and abetting terrorism to suggest that this guy, that these guys should get due process. And
I gotcha.
Yeah, it is. That's where they're going with this. I posted today that there's a reason they're going after the Gaza protesters first, and it's because the Biden administration just spent the past year and a half laying the groundwork to dehumanize the protesters, to manufacture consent for supporting Israel, and Trump is just going to the easiest targets. He's not going to stop there. It's going to become protesting anything. He's just across the board, any ideological disagreement, he's taking funding away from Maine because they won't fucking fall in line with his transgender bans. Same thing with Harvard. The shit he's done with Harvard, we haven't even talked about that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which, you know what? Props to Harvard. Good job, Harvard. You did better than Columbia. So, credit where credit is due. But he basically, like, the document he sent them was like, yeah, you have to stop your ideological hiring practices, and you have to make sure there's more conservatives. And despite the fact that those two things are blatantly contradictory.
Yes, they are.
It doesn't matter to these people. Because as you said, TJ, all that matters is what advances the interests of my in-group. And that in-group is going to get incrementally smaller day by day until suddenly you're standing outside of it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull up what that Harvard thing John was talking about is, because it is, well, I don't know. I'm running out of adjectives or ways to describe this shit, honestly. Like, I don't even know what to say. But all right, this is Harvard talking about what Donald Trump sent over to them. Let's go ahead.
In the demand letter that the Trump administration sent to my university Friday night that became public on Monday, one of his demands was to have the school appoint, or allow him to appoint, a federal overseer who would audit every course on this campus, every department, to try to figure out if it met the ideological balance that's preferred by the Trump administration. And that federal official would then require us to hire new teachers to teach the way that Trump wants us to teach, to change our courses. This is absolute outright efforts to take over federally what is taught on American campuses. It's a move that we see in countries across the globe when dictators are trying to come into power.
Okay. So once again, Donald Trump, champion of free speech, as we all know. Donald Trump fights for free speech on college campuses specifically, which is really funny thinking about it that way. But something that conservatives complain about all the time is the fact that something we mentioned, education tends to make people less conservative. There's an inverse relationship between how educated you are and how conservative your thoughts are, because it's not because of a conspiracy. It's not because that Harvard professors or professors from any college or school are hanging out in smoke-filled back rooms trying to think of a way to turn your kids against good, rock-rib conservative values. The reason it's this way is that conservative ideas do not stand up to academic scrutiny. That's it. That is literally the only reason that this is the case. Like, no one has it out against you guys because you have conservative values. No one is just sitting there just enraged that you like lower taxes. No, it's that when you actually scrutinize these ideas and test them, you find out that, they produce actually really awful results. So that's why it happens that way. So conservatives always complain and says, well, we need to bend these colleges to our will. And they complain about it all the time. You seen this, John? John, are you there? Oh, we lost John.
They said all the time. Yeah, I am. I don't know what's going on with my connection today, TJ. This is just I apologize to all of our viewers that this is not going to be our most welcome show.
One of them days
once again. But it is one of them days, TJ. But yeah, the one thing I disagree with there, it's not the only reason is that it doesn't hold up to academic scrutiny. It's also because it tends to be a place where you have a lot of people of different cultural backgrounds all cohabitating and working together in unison. And that just takes a sledgehammer to most, xenophobic conservative beliefs. The best way to stop someone from being a racist is just expose them to the people that they hate. And that is what happens. You see this all the time. Like people from like small rural towns go to university and like, oh shit, all this crazy fear mongering was totally made up. But my roommate, Shaquille down the hall, he's a cool dude. Oh wow, I didn't realize that immigrants weren't terrible, scary people. And that's one of the crazy things about this. We saw today, I forget which one. I think it was Chrissy Noem. I forget even which one who was saying it. But there's just so much stuff, DJ. There's just so much evil, blatant bullshit coming at us every single day. I'm forgetting who said what. But they want to just look at the social media profiles of anyone trying to get educational visas here and deny them entry if they've ever like supported Palestine. And it's like, guys, just from a strategic perspective, the last people I want not coming to our country are the people seeking degrees at Ivy League colleges. Like, one of our biggest strengths as a nation is the ability to import the smartest people from all over the world to attend our elite colleges and universities. It is one of our singular greatest strengths.
Yeah.
And to just say, that's we're not going to use that anymore. We're not going to do that because you know what? We got enough smart people here. No, we fucking don't. No, we don't. And if we did, then why aren't they winning out in the fucking capitalist free market here? Why not? It doesn't make any sense, right? But there's no consistency. There's no consistency, DJ. And what one point I want to make here?
What's that?
We could have done the same thing this whole fucking time. Like, this just tells me, and again, I don't think conservatives are significantly more sheepish than liberals. Like, I think that if you put whatever fucking Democratic president out there and just whatever they said, the majority of Democrats would go with it in the same exact way that the majority of Republicans are going with Trump now. Like, every single argument that I heard over the past however many years about, the Biden can't do this because people wouldn't be happy. No, if he just did it, people would be happy with it. That's the thing that Trump has unlocked the secret to, that has taken politicians a long time to believe. But no, do you disagree? You don't think Biden said, "Yeah, we're not helping Israel anymore"? Democrats wouldn't have just fucking went along with that?
I think that it's maybe 75% true. I think that Trump is unique in his ability to be accepted.
Maybe Biden didn't have the skills to do it.
Well, or anyone. I honestly have a hard time imagining any other president doing the tariff thing, saying we're doing 100% tariffs, and then the next day actually no tariffs, and then the next day tariffs are back, and the next day no tariff. I can't imagine anyone doing that without suffering massive political repercussions. I think for the most part, yeah, you're correct that, the people will follow the president's lead, but Trump is so erratic and so goddamn fucking stupid. I just have a hard time seeing anyone else. So for the most part, yeah, but for Trump, I think it is a little different.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm assuming that they wouldn't do stuff that blatantly stupid. To whatever percentage that the conservatives are more willing to go along with what their leader tells them, I think that that percentage would be eaten away by the fact that the Democratic leader wouldn't be so goddamn stupid and have demand such crazy things to go along with.
That's true, but you also have to keep in mind that conservatives are also a lot more stupid than liberals are. And this isn't us, just like patting liberals on the back. I was like, no, it's true. I'm just saying, like, statistically, that's the case. So if a president like Donald Trump going up there every day and saying, no, foreign countries pay tariffs, Importers
Yeah.
don't pay tariffs. It's for that would never fly with Democrats. It would never fly. It would they would look it up if they did know what a tariff was, which most of them probably do. Unlike conservatives, like, oh wait, that's not true. Why do you keep saying that? We would be talking about it if Biden was on TV every day saying, or Kamala was on TV every day saying, no, actually, importers don't pay tariffs. Other companies or other countries pay tariffs. We're receiving billions of dollars, enriching the nations with other countries paying tariffs. We would criticize that, as would every other Democrat out there. Democrats in Congress would be saying that. There's no way that would work. And that's just because liberals, this is why conspiracy theories work so well with the right wing, because when you don't know how anything works, everything is a conspiracy, which describes pretty much every Republican and every conservative out there. They don't know anything about how government works. They don't think about sociology, about science, basic goddamn math and economics. They don't know anything about that shit. So you can tell them anything. And as long as the big strong man says something that you find to be comforting, you're going to roll with it. So I think that the Republicans do have an advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, that is for sure. But I think there's a certain level that Democrats could have take more advantage of the fact that they can just lead their people to believe most reasonable things. Take universal health care, for example. If Joe Biden had been championing universal health care for the past 4 years, you would see way more support for it within the Democratic Party.
I agree.
No doubt about it. And, it does help that these policies, actually are backed up and hold up to academic scrutiny. So the smart ones will go along with them because they're the right things to do. I think the biggest example of this, TJ, and the biggest evidence to my point here is that if you look at polling, approval ratings, and who would you vote for in the election, Kamala Harris is still at the top of the 2028 primaries in polling right now, just based on name recognition, just based on
that's it. Yeah,
this is the person I was going to bat for. I'll go to bat for her again. No thinking there about how she lost, and maybe we shouldn't run the loser again. Or
work for the Republicans.
It did.
It worked for them.
Again, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys happen to watch this entire live show, I apologize. This is not our best effort, but like and subscribe anyway. Otherwise, you will die like a dog.
Like a dog. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. It's been fun. We are the favorite podcast, the favorite YouTube channel of lots of men, strong men, tears in their eyes. They love it. We hope you guys do too. Catch you later.